Hello, welcome to Piro's advanced course on impressing people. Now, the first part of this course is the fact that most people will think that when I say that I'm about to tell you how to impress people. That's beginner level impressing people, to impress them. Advanced level is why you don't want to impress them, why you don't care. I live in American culture. I think I can speak about Americans being a certain way in the mainstream. I lived in California and Hawaii and Colorado for extended periods, and I've traveled around and I consume our American culture. I think it's pretty accurate to say that Americans expect you to impress them. Now, they don't expect you to succeed, but I mean, they expect you to try to impress them, I've found. And if you don't, then they think you couldn't impress them. You are not impressive. But what they mistake, what they don't understand, is that people with with something to offer that might impress you, they have reasons not to impress you, because when they impress people, they get a bunch of people wanting from them. Use that skill for me. Use that power for me. They are beset with requests in adulation of their power. Now, a weak person might go, oh, but it's great, I just want everybody to come and think I'm great, I'd feel so good about myself. But if you already feel good about yourself, then you'll recognize, no, there's people coming and thinking they want something from you. And you also realize that people that go out of their way to impress you, they are doing so because they want something from you. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Perhaps they want love. Perhaps they want a job. Right? On the other hand, sometimes it is bad. Perhaps they just want to get laid and to take your money. Right? So, really, people that look deeply into nature, in my opinion, they look to be impressed in places that are not naturally impressive, places that don't sparkle. You know what I mean? The people that know how to metaphorically go out and prospect, and they can see something that looks like a rock to you or me, and they go, that's not a rock, that's full of silver. I just made a silver strike. And they dig in to the world to get impressed. You can't impress them. It's very difficult. You cannot impress me, dressing sharp or any of these things. Now, I am not like a perfectionist in the normal sense of the word, where just everything has to be just right. No. Things can be really sloppy if they're not important. But if something is important, I think it's important, then I am like an obsessive person. It's got to be right. The logical validity and coherence of an argument is important. Therefore, I am very, 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 very careful with that. Looking sharp, to me, not very important. On the other hand, the interesting thing about this, to be practical, is I live, a real life, and I have to get work. And in the workplace, you do sometimes have to impress people. I am not willing to compromise certain things. So people that need to see me dress sharp to think that I'm professional at what I do and excellent at it, they just need to be re-educated on what's really important in of my skill set in the job that I do. On the other hand, I will go out of my way to try to communicate with them, find out how I can communicate what I see as actually important. And I've also been lucky to be in an era where software engineers, they're sort of eccentric, so you don't expect a particular thing from them. You have to learn how to see if their software is good. But anyway, that's my comment on impressing people and wanting to be impressed and expressing impressions and stuff. And I arrived at this by luck. I didn't figure this out. It's more that I discovered a sort of an unflattering, brutal truth about myself. My early 30s, if I recall correctly, I realized that I'm sort of a natural sandbagger. I'm not the kind that will actually pretend to have a broken wing and so I look weaker than I am, but I am the kind that will not show all my tools. If you and I are playing a game, I'll sneak up from a strategy you didn't expect, hopefully. So I will not put those things out there. So just naturally being the kind of person that didn't want to impress other people, and in fact sort of takes a pleasure in unimpressing people, and not so much anymore, but when I was young, to go ahead and be countercultural and be different, stand out, have my own opinion. I knew to do that you can't impress people. People want you to impress people. You have to prove that you're like they want you to be. It's like, no, I want to be how I want to be. put me to the side of this whole process is I've watched people impressing other people, people expecting me to impress them in ways that I was never going to impress them or try to impress them. In fact, in ways that I would sabotage if they do think, if they get a wrong impression. Maybe they run into me and meet me and their first impression is that, boy, you dress so sharp, because I dressed sharp that day. It was a wedding, I got a haircut, I even wore a tie, and some people go, oh, you look so professional. And I will deconstruct that as they get to know me. They will start to see that that was just one special case. And as the side of this, and learning to not be rude to other people, I care what other people think. So sometimes I am like, yeah, I want to impress this person because I want a job, and I'm glad that they're looking to be impressed, and I just want to see that it's about, based on the right thing. And but I've observed this comedy of the comedy of judgment, and noticed that people have very ironic and what I think of as kind of primitive ideas about the purpose or value of being impressed, and not enough suspicion for people that are good at making good impressions. People that are good at making good impressions, you need to suspect that, and people don't. They just call that charisma, and they think it's like an essential thing that proves that power, and it's not really that way at all.